Have you ever wondered if your body gives you a warning before a stroke? The truth is, it often does. And not just minutes before. In many cases, subtle warning signs can show up as early as a month before a major stroke occurs. In this video, you'll learn the 8 critical early signs of stroke most people ignore, the 9 most effective prevention tips backed by research, and the risk factors you need to take seriously, especially if you're over 50. Let's begin with the early warning signs. 1. Elevated blood pressure, the most overlooked red flag. High blood pressure is known as the silent killer for a reason. It often shows no symptoms, but inside your body, it's causing microscopic damage to your arteries. Whether you're at risk for an ischemic stroke caused by a blockage or a hemorrhagic stroke caused by bleeding, uncontrolled blood pressure is the #1 risk factor. Many patients say, "But I feel fine." That's the danger. You might feel okay, but high blood pressure is already damaging your brain's blood vessels. If your BP readings are often over 130/80 mmHg, even if you're symptom-free, it's time to take it seriously. 2. Unusual or sudden headaches, especially if you don't normally get them. Have you recently experienced a sudden, intense, or unfamiliar headache? That could be your brain's way of telling you something is wrong. A headache that comes on suddenly or builds up progressively, especially one that feels different from your usual headaches, could indicate a problem with blood flow to your brain. If it's accompanied by visual disturbances, nausea, or temporary vision loss, seek emergency medical attention. It might be a mini-stroke, transient ischemic attack, or TIA, which is a warning sign of a full stroke to come. 3. Numbness or weakness, especially on one side of the body. If you suddenly feel numbness or weakness on just one side of your face, arm, or leg, it could mean blood flow to your brain has been partially interrupted. This happens because your brain controls the opposite side of your body. So a stroke in the left hemisphere might affect your right arm or leg and vice versa. Whether it's a tingling sensation or a loss of strength, don't ignore it. Even if the symptoms fade within minutes, get checked immediately. It may be a TIA, which means you're at high risk for a full stroke in the next few days or weeks. 4. Sudden trouble speaking or understanding words. You're talking with someone and suddenly can't find the right words, or your speech becomes slurred, or the person next to you sounds like they're speaking gibberish. These are signs of a brain disruption in the area responsible for language processing. This condition is known as aphasia and often accompanies strokes or mini-strokes. If someone suddenly can't speak clearly or respond appropriately, don't wait go to the A. 5. Balance issues and unsteady gait. A stroke doesn't just affect speech or strength, it can impact your coordination and balance too. If someone suddenly seems dizzy, clumsy, or walks like they're drunk, despite not drinking, it could signal a brain issue in the region that controls movement and balance. If you or someone you know experiences sudden loss of balance, treat it as a medical emergency. 6. Unusual fatigue or sudden exhaustion. Have you felt unusually drained, tired, or weak without a clear reason? Several stroke survivors report that days or even weeks before their stroke, they felt worn out in ways they couldn't explain. This kind of sudden and persistent fatigue shouldn't be ignored, especially if it's new and interferes with your usual daily routine. 7. Difficulty with simple movements or coordination. You're trying to type, cook, or hold a toothbrush, and suddenly one hand just doesn't cooperate like it usually does. This loss of fine motor control, even if slight, can be an early stroke warning sign. It's not always total paralysis. Often it's a subtle weakness, a sense that something's off. When you notice clumsiness in one hand or leg, or if movements feel off balance, don't delay care. 8. Blurred or double vision. Sudden vision changes are often dismissed as fatigue, but they could be much more serious. If your vision becomes blurry, double, or suddenly cuts out in one eye, it could mean blood flow to your visual cortex is disrupted. Yes, blood sugar and eye strain can affect vision, but if it comes on suddenly, treat it as a stroke red flag. 9 powerful prevention tips to lower your stroke risk. The good news? Stroke is largely preventable. Here's how to take control. 1. Cut your salt intake in half. Excess salt raises blood pressure, period. The World Health Organization recommends less than 5 grams of salt daily, but most people consume 10 grams or more. By reducing your sodium intake, you can lower your stroke risk by up to 40%. Read labels, cook fresh, and go easy on processed foods. 2. Control blood sugar levels. High blood sugar damages your arteries and contributes to atherosclerosis, the buildup of plaque inside vessels. Diabetes is a major risk factor for stroke. If your fasting glucose or HbA1c is elevated, work with your doctor to manage it through diet, activity, and medication. 3. Stop smoking. Yes, all forms of it. Tobacco in any form, cigarettes, cigars, e-cigs, damages blood vessels and increases stroke risk. If you've been meaning to quit, let this be the push. 4. Know your cholesterol numbers. Cholesterol isn't evil, it's necessary. But excess LDL, bad cholesterol, contributes to artery blockages. Your ideal LDL depends on your personal risk profile. Low risk, under 130 milligrams DL. Moderate risk, under 100. Higher risk, for example, heart attack survivor, under 70 or even 55. Also keep HDL, good, above 40, and triglycerides under 150. 5. Exercise at least 150 minutes per week. Regular physical activity improves blood flow, strengthens your heart, and lowers your risk of stroke and heart attack. Try walking, swimming, strength training, or even dancing. Aim for 30 minutes, 5 days a week, or break it into 10-minute chunks if needed. 6. Maintain a healthy weight. Extra body fat leads to chronic inflammation and increases your risk of high BP, high blood sugar, and stroke. Start by cutting sugar, eating more fiber, and getting active. Even losing 5 to 10% of your body weight can have a major health impact. 7. Fix your sleep, especially sleep apnea. Waking up gasping for air? Feeling tired despite a full night's sleep? These are signs of obstructive sleep apnea, which starves your brain of oxygen and raises BP and blood sugar. Get a sleep study. Treating apnea with CPAP can drastically reduce stroke risk. 8. Monitor your blood pressure at home. Don't rely only on the doctor's office. Some people have white coat hypertension. BP spikes at the doctor. Others have masked hypertension, high BP at home, normal at the clinic. Buy a home BP monitor and log your readings twice daily. Target around 120/80ths mmHg. 9. Check for heart rhythm problems like atrial fibrillation. Atrial fibrillation, AFib, causes irregular heartbeat and can lead to blood clots, which may travel to your brain and cause a stroke. You might not feel symptoms, but a simple EKG or Holter monitor can detect it. If you have palpitations, fluttering, or skipped beats, don't ignore them. Many people think a stroke comes out of nowhere, but that's often not true. Your body sends signals. You just need to know how to read them. By watching for these 8 early warning signs and following these 9 lifestyle strategies, you can drastically reduce your stroke risk. Protect your brain. Protect your future.